Hi, today I'm going to give you just a brief overview of the Cold War. You've been reading articles about the Cold War, and I hope you've been paying attention to the videos and things like that because over the next 2 weeks, you're going to be writing a narrative where you are a character that is set either in East Berlin or in America during the time of the Cold War. So I just want to give you some basic information so that you can come up with a problem and a solution. First of all, at the end of World War II, the Allies freed all of the Western European countries that had been conquered by Germany. So everything west of the middle of Germany was freed, and the U.S. gave them money to help them set up a democratic government. And remember, democratic governments are where we elect our leaders and we have freedom of speech, freedom of the press, things like that, and it's a more open style of government. In Eastern Europe, that was very much different. The Soviets controlled Eastern Europe, and the Soviet Union was a communist government. That means that they had a dictator, basically, Joseph Stalin, and the government controlled every aspect of people's lives. Your purpose was simply to serve the greater good. And if what you were doing was deemed to hurt the state in any way, then you could be executed or you could be imprisoned. Their punishments were swift and very harsh. So it was not a positive place to be. They continued to occupy and set up communist governments in a lot of the Eastern European nations. Western Europe and America were alarmed by the Soviet advances in Eastern Europe because they didn't want communism to spread. The last thing a free nation wants is to be taken over by communists because then they have no freedoms. And in a democratic nation, we enjoy our freedoms. Many believes that communists were trying to take over the world. So there was a little bit of paranoia going on there on both sides, really. So you can see here, this is a picture of, this looks like Tiananmen Square in China. And then this is obviously tanks. All right, so the British Prime Minister, Winston Churchill, warned that an iron curtain of Soviet totalitarianism had fallen across Europe. In other words, he's saying that East Europe and Western Europe were separated, and they were separated by democracy versus communism. And there was a lot of anger and resentment and paranoia about what the other nations were doing. The term Iron Curtain was a symbol that it just represented the tensions between the two sides. You had communists and you had democratic countries. This is a map of Europe, and you can see here, these are the Eastern European countries, Poland, there's East Germany. And we know that East Germany was split from West Germany, and there was a wall between them. It was the Berlin Wall. So all of these countries were in Eastern Europe, and they were ruled by communists. The Communist Army, they called them the Stasi. And they were a lot like the Nazis. They executed people who didn't follow directions. They imprisoned people for just trying to escape and things like that. So they were very much locked down in those countries, and every aspect of their lives was completely controlled by the government. So this is a cartoon, and this is a plan for the new world. And you see Truman there, and you see people trying to escape. This would be representative of the Berlin Wall, and it's supposedly an iron curtain. And it says made in Moscow because Moscow was the capital of Russia or the Soviet Union. And then there's somebody up there saying, "Don't fence me in." All right, so the Eastern Bloc, the Soviets managed to set up communist governments throughout Eastern Europe. The government outlawed political parties, newspapers, Anything that opposed them or spoke out against the communist government was completely shut down. The Soviets jailed or killed potential opponents. So anybody that disagreed, and that sounds a lot like Hitler, doesn't it? It sounds a lot like people who are trying to control other people. They also rigged elections to make sure that the communists won the elections. So it was a very scary time if you lived in the Eastern Bloc. That would be East Berlin and all the Eastern European countries. All right, so when we get, here's where the Iron Curtain was, and this is just the border of communism. Interestingly enough, my father was in the Army during this time, during the Vietnam War, but he was stationed in Germany, and he patrolled the Czechoslovakia border, and he actually patrolled the Berlin Wall. And he tells stories about how the soldiers, they would taunt the Stasi soldiers, and that there were, arguments going back and forth, and that he saw a lot of people, he said he never saw anybody trying to escape, but there were lots of people who did, and that they all knew about it. So all of this is communist, all of this area. This is China, North Korea, Mongolia, Soviet Union. So to anybody that valued freedom and valued democracy, this was scary. That's a scary picture, because if it just moves a little west, it's going to start to take over Europe again. And then it could set its sights on America. And the more countries that were communist, the less influence America would have, or a democratic government would have. So that was very scary. And you can see this is, this looks like Moscow, this picture. And you see the tanks rolling through. 1945 was the beginning of a long period of distrust and misunderstanding between the Soviet Union and the United States. Both countries came through as the world's two superpowers. So they had kind of a competition going on in the space race and in nuclear power and things like that. Both countries kind of suspected the others of spying, and there was lots of spying. It was kind of the age of the spies. Where people would spy, we'd send spies and they'd send spies to find out what the other one was doing. It was very much just a war of tension. There was never a shot fired, but it came close several times. And we've talked about the disagreements. The Soviets believed that a powerful central government should control the economy as well as the government and all the people. The U.S. believed that business should be privately owned, that people should own their own property. And those are two very different views. All right. It was an indirect conflict, and it lasted all the way up until 1991. And that was when the Berlin Wall fell and the Cold War was effectively over. It didn't fall, it was torn down. Both countries worried that the other would become more powerful than them and spread their economic or their political views. So communists were afraid that more countries would become democratic, and democratic governments were afraid that more countries would become communist. It was a Cold War because nobody ever fired a shot. But everybody was afraid that that was going to happen. The United States and the Soviet Union competed with one another for political influence and military power. Stockpiles of weapons. One side would get a nuclear weapon and the other one would make one that was bigger. And it was kind of just a competition that went back and forth. And that was called the arms race. The thing that I need you to understand about the Cold War, the reason that there was never a shot fired, is something called mutually assured destruction. And what that means is if your enemy has weapons just as big and just as powerful as you do, you don't want to fire that powerful shot at them, because obviously then they would fire their powerful shot and they would knock you off the map and you'd knock them off the map and everybody would be dead. So you wouldn't want to completely anger your enemy if they were just as powerful as you. So we both had our fingers right on that button, the US and the USSR had their fingers right on that button, but nobody ever pushed it because they knew that if one pushed it, the other one would also, and everybody would be just wiped off the map. Because nuclear weapons are extremely powerful. And as we saw with the atom bomb, you know, any kind of bomb can take out an entire city, an entire continent. And it's just a very scary thing. So that's why nobody ever fired that shot, because they know what happens if they do. All right, these are just missiles, and it's unclear which side these were. During the space race, both sides tried really hard to be the first to get to the moon, the first to orbit space. They distrusted each other. Neither side would give up. People lived in fear that another world war would erupt. Like I said, the hands were on those buttons, and people were afraid that at any moment somebody was going to push that button. And everybody knew that if it did, the weapons were so massively sophisticated at that point that it could wipe out an entire country. So nobody ever really pushed it because they knew that that the Soviet Union was just as powerful as we were. All right. Berlin. I want to go over Berlin. During the Cold War, there were many hotspots or areas of extreme tension. The earliest hotspot was Berlin. The Soviets controlled it, and they put a wall up that divided East Germany from West Germany, East Berlin from West Berlin. The capital, Berlin, was deep within the Soviet-controlled territory. You can see here a map, and this is where the Berlin Wall separated East Berlin from West Berlin. And it was a literal wall. There was a kill zone in between it. It was very serious. In June 1948, the Soviets blockaded all land and water traffic into Western Berlin, hoping to make Britain, France, and America leave the city. In response, the United States and Great Britain began an airlift, and that was where they dropped supplies into the East Berliners. You can see here a plane flying over and dropping supplies in. And it lasted for 11 months. And you can see here what they did. And here are some more pictures. So imagine that you're one of these people. You're living behind the wall. They're not getting any news because the government controls the news. They control what they read, what they hear, what they see. And if you dare to speak out, then you're either killed or imprisoned. So imagine that you're one of these people. That could be your story. Imagine telling about the airlift, from the Berlin airlift. And here's little children playing with a wall, building a play wall. And you see behind them, those are the barbed wire strips. All right. That's where we're going to stop for today. And I want you guys to just think about what kind of, think about the kids that were involved in this and what their life might have been like. And that should help you to come up with a problem and a solution.